I didn't expect a grand celebration. I didn't expect gifts, speeches, or a heartfelt moment that would make me feel special. All I wanted, truly, was a simple reminder that I existed. A name on a cake. A moment of acknowledgement. Something small enough not to trouble anyone, yet meaningful enough to make the day feel like it belonged to me. But when the cake box opened that evening and the candles flickered across the dining table, I felt something in my chest go strangely quiet. There it was, a glossy white cake with bright colors, balloons, and swirls of icing. Beautiful, expensive looking. Something that screamed effort. But not my name. Not even a hint of it. Happy birthday. Buddy, it said. Buddy. My mother laughed like it was cute. My sister snapped pictures like she was documenting a moment that actually belonged to her. My father didn't even blink. He was too busy talking about their early morning flight to Bali. No one noticed that I wasn't smiling. I stood there, staring at the cake like a guest at my own celebration. Like someone passing through a stranger's party. And the worst part wasn't the missing name, it was the realization that they didn't even realize it was missing. Come on, blow the candles, Dad said, not looking up from his phone. I almost did. Almost pretended everything was fine. But something inside me tightened. Something years in the making. Forgotten events. Missed achievements. Birthdays overshadowed by vacations, emergencies, or someone else's priorities. This cake was just the final proof. I wasn't part of them. I was an afterthought they decorated out of obligation. So I didn't blow the candles. I stepped back quietly and said, I'll be right back. Nobody asked where I was going. I didn't go far. Not yet. I drove to the edge of town, past the familiar streets that once held laughter, past the park where my family had once celebrated a birthday long before I became invisible. The air was crisp, almost cleansing. It felt like the first breath I'd taken in years that wasn't trapped under their neglect. I parked near a quiet lake, the water reflecting the sky like a mirror, still, patient, unjudging. I didn't cry, didn't shout. I just sat, letting the silence fill every corner of my mind. Each memory of being overlooked, each subtle reminder that I was expendable, stacked itself in neat, cold layers. By the time their car pulled away for their trip, I was gone. Not hiding. Not seeking revenge, yet. Gone in the sense that I removed myself from a world that didn't seem to notice me. From a family that had, in one simple mistake, revealed their entire truth. I called no one. I texted no one. Even my phone felt heavier than usual. I didn't need explanations. I didn't need apologies. I needed space. Space to remember who I was without them defining it. Hours passed. The sun dipped low, painting the lake in gold and blood-red shadows. And then I began the work I'd long postponed. Writing? Not for them. Not for social media. Not even for proof. Writing for me, the person who deserved to exist fully without being forgotten. I documented every birthday overlooked, every dinner ignored, every smile that had never been mine. Each memory was a thread, each thread a line of reasoning, and slowly, carefully I wove a plan, not of rage, not of violence, but of absolute presence. Because one thing I understood clearly now. If they could erase me from a cake, I could disappear entirely, in a way that they would never forget. Their trip lasted 7 days. 7 days in which my phone stayed silent, untouched, resting on my kitchen counter like a forgotten artifact. They didn't call. Not once. Not even a curious text. Maybe they assumed I was busy. Maybe they assumed I didn't care. Or maybe, and this felt closest to the truth, they didn't notice I wasn't there. On the morning they returned, I was already gone. Not missing. Not lost. Just absent from their world. I left the house key on the table the way someone leaves a hotel room. I packed only what belonged to me, stripped of memories, stripped of explanations. When they finally realized I wasn't home, the messages started flooding in. My mother's voice cracked. My sister sounded confused. My father was the last to message, a short sentence that said more than he intended. Did something happen? I didn't reply. Instead, I sent a single photo. The birthday cake. The one without my name. A quiet reminder that sometimes, the smallest forgetfulness reveals the biggest truths. Let them feel the silence I lived in. Let them wonder. Let them sit with the absence they created. For the first time in my life, I wasn't forgotten. I was gone by choice.